Hello students, welcome to Accounting Explained at Accountwise Academy. This is Latha Venkateshwaran.
Today we are going to cover Incremental IRR. Don't forget to watch my previous videos on time value of money, IRR and NPV to build your foundation before continuing. Incremental IRR helps you choose between two competing projects by analyzing their cash flow differences. Two competing projects means two similar projects are there and you have to choose one among them. In that case, incremental IRR will help you to choose the right project by analyzing their cash flow differences. I'm going to explain this with an example. Suppose there are two projects, project A and project B. Project A and B requires an initial investment or outflow of 2 lakhs and 2,50,000. Okay. So obviously if you see project B requires more of 50,000. So that can be written as incremental outflow 50,000. Outflow will always be negative. Okay. Here, incremental IRR calculates what rate of return you are getting on that extra 50,000 you invest, not just on the whole amount. So, not just on the whole amount means it will not going to take the whole amount of 2 lakh or 2,50,000 separately. It is going to take only the incremental outflow and calculate the rate of return. It helps you to see if that upgrade is actually worth it. Okay, so you all know that IRR will always be in percentage. Incremental IRR will also be in percentage. That is why we are saying rate of return we are going to get on that extra 50,000. We are going to calculate incremental IRR only on the 50,000 and not on the whole amount of project A or project B separately. Okay, you have to understand that first. Next point, it tells you the return on the incremental investment when selecting one project over another. So here return means inflow or profit. Suppose you're going to get a inflow of 30,000 per annum for project A and for project B it is 60,000. So the difference more, project B is getting 30,000 more when compared to project A. Here incremental IRR will tell you what return you will earn by spending this extra 50,000 to upgrade from project A to project B. So here the initial investment will be 50,000 and the return will be 30,000. On that, you are going to calculate the incremental IRR. Instead of calculating separately for project A or project B, that is not going to be done. We are going to calculate the IRR only on the incremental cash outflow and the cash inflow. If incremental IRR is greater than the required rate of return, prefer the bigger project, otherwise stick with the lower cost option. This required rate of return will always be given in the question. Suppose it is 10%. They can give this required rate of return or cost of capital, both are same. Okay. Suppose if in the question they have given 10% as the required rate of return and you have calculated incremental IRR as 9%. This is lesser than the required rate of return, right? So you will not accept project B. Okay, you will accept only project A. In the another scenario, if the incremental IRR is 12%, this is obviously greater than the required rate of return. So greater than 10%, 12% is greater than 10%, then you have to go for the bigger project. In this case, you will select project B and you will reject project A. In this way, you have to calculate IRR, incremental IRR, and then you have to see whether you have to select which project, whether project A or project B, depending upon the required rate of return and the incremental IRR that has to be compared and you have to select the project. IRR can be calculated either by using Excel sheet or by doing it manually. Here I am going to teach you only the manual method. Manual method means you have to take trial rates. Okay. For that, you have to first find out NPV using trial rates. If the NPV is positive, then that trial rate will be taken as lower interest rate. Since this is lower interest rate, you have to go for a higher interest rate and find out the negative NPV. Okay, these four things are a must for calculating or for doing IRR. Okay, so we have to incorporate this in the formula which is given above. The formula is lower interest rate plus NPV of lower rate divided by NPV of lower rate minus NPV of higher rate, the whole thing multiplied by higher rate minus lower rate. This, when you incorporate all these values in the formula, which you have calculated these values, no, if you incorporate in this form in the formula, you will get incremental IRR. Okay, or IRR. Both are same. In IRR, you are going to find out for each project separately. In incremental IRR, you are going to find out the incremental outflow and incremental inflow separately. And on that incremental outflow and inflow, you'll calculate IRR. So this is the difference between IRR and incremental IRR. IRR I have discussed in detail in my previous video with an exam question also. And in my previous video, one of the videos I have even taught how to do modified internal rate of return. You can go through those videos for a better understanding. I'll be sharing the link in the description box. Let's solve one sample exam question to calculate incremental IRR. In the question, they have given 3 columns. Year, project X, project Y. Year 0 means it is the starting of the project. They have given 2 negative values for project X and project Y. That means it is outflow or the initial investment. So for X it is minus 1 lakh, for Y it is minus 1 lakh 50,000. For year 1 and 2 they have given positive values. It means it is the return or profit or cash inflow. So year 1 and 2 for project X it is 80,000 50,000 return, and for project Y it is 1 lakh 10,000 80,000. Further in the question they have given required rate of return as 12%. They may give required rate of return or cost of capital in the question. Both are same as I've told you before. So don't get confused. Remember that, okay? Using the above cash flows, determine which project should be selected based on the incremental IRR approach. Show all the steps and calculations to support your answer. So we have now all the details. Let's calculate incremental IRR together. Step 1 is to find out the incremental cash flows. So this is the question given. And the solution is as follows. For that, we have to open 4 columns. Here, project X, project Y, incremental cash flow, Y minus X. Always the larger project should be deducted from the smaller project. Here, the larger project is project Y. See, outflow is more, inflow is also more. That's why we call project Y as a larger project. Okay, so first initial investment minus 1 lakh 50,000 minus of minus 1 lakh is 50,000. For 1 and 2, the incremental cash flows are 30,000 and 30,000. Now we have to calculate negative and positive NPV. So positive NPV if you have found, that will become your lower interest rate, and if you have found the negative NPV, that will become your higher interest rate, the discount rate which we are using for discounting the cash inflows. Okay, that will become lower, and negative NPV means it becomes higher. Okay, understand this because this is very important for calculating IRR. If you like this video so far, please hit a like button and subscribe to my channel. This will help me to bring you more useful videos like this in the future. Thank you. Now coming back to the solution. Here, the rate of return they have given for this question is 12%. So what I am going to do is I am going to take 10% as a discount rate and find out the NPV. You all know the formula for NPV. You must be knowing the formula for NPV because as I have told you, you have to know in detail about NPV, time value of money and IRR before coming to this video. Okay, so NPV is equal to outflow minus present value of inflows. So this is the formula for NPV. Okay, now let's take 10% as a trial rate and find out the NPV. So we have 4 columns in this for finding out the NPV. Here, incremental cash flow, that's now we have found present value factor at 10%. Present value, we have taken discount rate, we have taken it as 10%. So the formula for finding present value is 1 divided by 1 plus I the whole power n. In this case, it will be 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 the whole power 1, which becomes 1 divided by 1.1 to the whole power n. Okay. Next, present value. Present value is found out by multiplying 2 into 3. Second column into third column. Now, for year 0, your outflow is minus 50,000. I will not say it as outflow, I will say it as incremental outflows minus 50,000. So year 0 is a base year. Present value factor will always be 1. So minus 50,000 into 1 is minus 50,000. Next for year 1. Incremental cash flow is 30,000. Year 1 means n becomes 1. Okay, the formula is 1 divided by 1.1 comes to 0.909. So 30,000 into 0.909 is 27,273. Year 2, so n becomes 2. Incremental cash inflow for the second year is 30,000. 1 divided by 1.1 to the whole power 2 is 0.826. So 30,000 into 0.826 is 24,793. Now we are going to add the present value of cash inflows and we are going to deduct from the cash outflow. 27,273 plus 24,793 minus 50,000 gives you NPV at 10% as 2,066. Now we have got positive NPV. Positive NPV means this becomes our lower interest rate. For finding negative NPV, you have to go for the higher interest rate. What I am going to do is I am going to calculate NPV with 14% interest rate next. So next trial rate, as I told you, is we are going to calculate NPV with 14% discount rate. Now we need a negative NPV. Let's see whether with this 14% we are getting the negative NPV. So the same columns are same. Here it will become 1 divided by, we'll change the color, 1.14 to the power of 1. Okay. So here 0 is the base year, 50,001. Column 2 into 3 is minus 50,000. Year 1 it is 30,000. 1 divided by 1.14 to the power of 1 is 0.877. So on multiplying 2 into 3 you get 26,316. Here 2 n is 2, 30,000. It becomes present value factor is 0.769. 30,000 into 0.769 is 23,083. Now we are going to add the present value of cash inflows and deduct it with the outflow. So 26,316 plus 23,083 minus 50,000 gives you minus 601. So you have got now negative NPV. Now we have got the lower interest rate, positive NPV, higher interest rate and negative NPV. Just incorporate all these value in the formula, you will get incremental IRR. So let's go and apply this in the formula. Come on students. Now we have all the values here. Just incorporate these values in the formula. First, lower interest rate is 10%. Positive NPV or NPV of lower rate is how much? 2066 divided by NPV of lower rate is 2066 and NPV of higher rate is minus 601. Okay, so minus of minus 601 becomes 2066 plus 601. The whole thing multiplied by 14 minus 10, that is higher rate minus lower rate. Now IRR is equal to 10 plus, when you add this 2066 plus 601, it becomes 2667 is the numerator and denominator is 2066. 14 minus 10 is 4. I'll put a bracket here into 4. So 2066 by 2667 is 0.774 into 4. The whole thing added with 10. IRR is equal to 10 plus 0.774 into 4 is 3.1. So it becomes 13.1. This becomes your incremental IRR. Incremental IRR is 13.1% now. Required rate of return as per the question is 12% and the incremental IRR we have calculated is 13.1%. Now incremental IRR is greater than the required rate of return. In that case, we can select the project that has the higher value. In our question, project Y has the higher value, so we can choose project Y over project X. My dear students, covering tough exam concepts step by step makes Account-Wise Academy your best choice for finance learning. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.
If you would like to inquire about the online classes which I take or to get more worksheets, you can contact us at acc.wiseacademy@gmail.com.